Hello, Earthlings. It's time to reset your cultural dial. Coming your way next on your favorite device, from the Hoosier State to all the ships at sea, it's the Crawfordsville Peachcast. And now, here's your second or third favorite Dave from Indiana, Dave Peach. Warning, other people named Dave may also appear.
Crawfordsville Peachcast, and today we are going to talk to Al Kor. Dr. Al Kor, and he's a college friend, and he's a world traveler right now, and really his mission, aside from being a podiatrist, is to keep alive the memory of his mom, Eva Kor, and his dad, Mickey Kor. He has written a book. I don't know how to describe everything that you do on a daily basis, Dr. Kor, but it is great to talk to you.
Dave, appreciate you and the Peachcast giving me this opportunity. So, yeah, I'm busy doing a lot of things, and I do appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about some events that Candles Holocaust Museum's involved in here this month, the month of September.
The museum is in Terre Haute. You can find out more at candlesholocaustmuseum.org. Describe the museum for those that may not know what is there.
Dave, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary as of this past April. It was a museum started by my mom and my dad, kind of a grassroots, bare bones effort initially 30-some years ago, and it has grown and grown. We have a staff and future plans for expansion. But the museum, located on 3rd Street, US 41 in near downtown Terre Haute, features a hologram, dimensions and testimony, where you can actually, even though my mom passed away 6+ years ago, you can actually interact with my mom as you and I are speaking. There are multiple exhibits in the museum, and the staff there is very eager to show people around and not only tell the story of my mom and my dad, but there's also a third survivor from Germany, Walter Summers, who actually passed away around the same time as my father. And so the idea is to tell these stories that really none of us want to hear, but we're trying to prevent future atrocities. And as a friend of mine says, Stacy Gallen has an organization on the East Coast, remember the past to protect the future. And I think, our museum, Candles Holocaust Museum in Terre Haute, really does a nice job of trying to educate people of all walks of life, all ages. We have middle school kids, high school kids, college students, professors, people, teachers, really any person that has an interest to learn about the past to make today a better future should come and visit us.
Central Indiana Rubber Products provides the power for you. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, keeps farm equipment and local manufacturing processes running with gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Employee-owned and always customer-focused. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West, 83 North, Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, power for you. For someone that does not know your mom's story, there's a fantastic documentary that Ted Green did that was on public broadcasting, and you've written a book. So kind of help us out, as if someone is new to Eva Kor. These are two really, easily gotten to resources that they can find out her story.
Ted Green and WFYI did an amazing movie in 2018 called Eva A-7063. That's A-7063. It's my mom's whole Auschwitz number. And really does an incredible job of telling my mom's story for the middle 50 years of her life. She was from Transylvania, Hungary, Romania. My mom had a twin. The family was taken from their home in April, May of 1944, eventually ended up at Auschwitz, where her parents and her two older sisters were killed. The only reason my mom and my aunt survived was because they were identical twins. They were used in Dr. Joseph Mengele's medical experiments. At the age of 9 or 10, they would have been killed if they were not twins. So they survived approximately 9 months of being in these experiments. My mom and my aunt eventually ended up in 1950 going to Israel. My father, also a survivor of 4 years of concentration camps, was liberated by an American GI, actually Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Neff, who hailed from Terre Haute, Indiana. So my father ended up coming to Terre Haute as a 19, 20-year-old, finished high school, went to college, and ultimately went to visit a brother in Israel and met my mom on a blind date. So that's the Cliff Notes version of my parents' story. But yeah, the movie does an incredible job because one of the things my mom is known for, she had a lot of bad things that happened to her, and not only at Auschwitz, but afterwards. And she had a lot of chips on her shoulder. And my aunt died 1993, and through a strange series of circumstances, my mother met a Nazi doctor and asked him if he would come with us to Auschwitz in 1995 for the 50th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz to document history, to tell his story, which my mom thought that, people should know what happened, and what better way through the eyes of a Nazi doctor. And so Dr. Hans Munch did agree to come to Auschwitz and tell the world his story, which only confirmed and reaffirmed and educated people about what exactly happened at Auschwitz and other concentration camps. And through that experience, my mom wanted to thank him. And she ultimately decided the best way to thank a so-called enemy is to, the highest honor she could give somebody was to forgive him for being a Nazi. And that led my mom on a path of forgiveness and healing. And a lot of people know her for that part of her life. And so I, as a son of Eva Kor, I think it really gave my mom another 20 some years of life, because it really, as I said earlier, took a chip off her shoulder. And I think she was able to enjoy life and really embrace things, and it was a lot more productive, after she did this in 1995. And so Graham Honecker and I, 2 years ago, started writing a book, and it was published in May of 2024. And yes, I'm busy. Graham and I are still going around the country, to some extent the world, to speak about my parents in the book. And, my thought is, whether it's the movie that Ted Green did, or the book, or other things that have come about, the whole idea is to educate and expose people to this terrible history. And I think Candles Holocaust Museum is really the driving force for all this.
Coming up September 13th in Terre Haute, it's a Holocaust educator workshop.
Yes, indeed, Dave. One of the purposes, themes, missions of Candles is to educate teachers that want to educate their students about the Holocaust. And so September the 13th from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m., we have the Holocaust Educator Workshop. It is actually at the Vigo County History Center, which is on Wabash Avenue, downtown Terre Haute. There is a $25 registration fee. I do know there's some scholarships still available, but you can go to candlesholocaustmuseum.org and should be able to find this under upcoming events. But we're looking for teachers that are interested in learning more on how to teach the Holocaust. And I will be giving a short lecture. And, we're trying to emphasize, Dave, to utilize online resources that would hopefully meet Indiana standards and really make an impact on students throughout the Hoosier State.
And coming up September 20th at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, an evening of light. And this is, not only an important program, but there's going to be a movie that you were actually in, and there'll be a talk from Noah Emmerich, who has been in several movies and TV shows, well-known actor who was in a movie that you appear in, The Ice Cream Man, which actually ties into town I grew up in Columbus, Indiana, and Zaharicos. So there's a lot to unpack there. So give us kind of the agenda of the dinner and the program and Noah Emmerich's appearance there.
Yes, so September 20th, Children's Museum, 6:30 p.m. We have our fourth annual, it's called the Evening of Light. And this year we're featuring, as you mentioned, Noah Emmerich. He's appeared in Beautiful Girls, The Truman Show, Miracle, which we spoke about, The Americans, which was on FX. And the movie's called The Ice Cream Man. Just to give you a little background, there was a ice cream shop and man in Amsterdam, Ernst Kahn. And when the Nazis in 1939, 1940 occupied Amsterdam, Klaus Barbie, also known as the Butcher of Lyon, was a Nazi in charge of that operation. And Klaus Barbie wanted to make a point to all people that would in any way resist the Nazis that he was going to execute the most popular Jewish person in Amsterdam, which happened to be the owner of the ice cream shop, Ernst Kahn. Noah Emmerich plays Ernst Kahn, and this execution led to the biggest resistance, Jews and non-Jews, in the entire World War II, done in Amsterdam. And it's really a testament to how popular Mr. Kahn was. Rob Monyeau, who's an American, was living in Amsterdam, filmmaker, former actor, he's from Los Angeles. He heard about this story 3 or 4 years ago and decided he was going to make a movie. And the interesting parts, and there's a lot of interesting things. 3 years ago at our Evening of Light, I was told by a friend to go to a table to meet somebody. I didn't know who it was. And I said, "Hi, I'm Rob Monyeau. I'm doing a film on the Holocaust, and I'm filming here in Indiana." I said, "Excuse me, why are you filming in Indiana?" "Well, the movie's about this ice cream shop in Amsterdam, and the only place I could find in the entire country resembled that ice cream shop was, as you mentioned, Zaharicos in Columbus, Indiana. I'm filming there in Columbus, and we'll start in the next year. And here at my table is the owner of Zaharicos." Well, the owner, Tony, actually 2 weeks to 3 weeks later, unfortunately passed away of a heart attack. And I was told that the movie probably was not going to get off the ground, and so I kind of forgot about it. And several months later, Rob and there were some local Indiana producers, and they said, "No, we're still on target. We're going to start fundraising." And so in March of 2023, I get a email from Rob saying, "Hey, next week we're going to be down in Columbus. If you want to check things out, come on down." So I go down on a Saturday in sweats and show up on the set. And he goes, "Alex, you got to go to wardrobe. You're in the movie." I go, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Yeah, you're in the movie." So I have a very, very small role. I had one word I had to memorize, fight. And I repeated it 3 or 4 times. And I'm in front of a crowd and we're resisting the Nazis. This was part of the resistance movie. And I didn't end up on the cutting floor, as they say. I have a little airtime. But so Noah Emmerich plays Ernst Kahn. It's a short film. It was actually shortlisted for an Academy Award. And it debuted actually here in Indianapolis in July of 2024. It's won multiple film festival awards. And there's probably some momentum and we'll probably know more in a couple weeks, but there is some momentum to make it either into a series or do a little bit more with it. They have an educational toolkit that goes with it. And it's a nice film if we kind of combine both topics, Dave. for classrooms to bring in because it's 30, 35 minutes. And then you can have a discussion. And there's a lot of Indiana in it. There are many actors from the greater Indianapolis area that are in the movie. The actor that played Klaus Barbie lives in Cincinnati. He's a younger guy. And so I was very honored to be in the movie. And Noah, the interesting tie-in is that Noah is of Jewish descent. And his parents, one was from Germany and fled Nazi Germany, and actually, ironically, for a period of time, was his father was as a young boy in Amsterdam during this time. So for Noah, this was a very personal story. Obviously, his father survived, where others did not. But I think Noah's input and his knowledge of World War II really helped him. And the film is really well done, and Rob and Greg and all the people involved deserve a lot of credit. So as you mentioned, they will show the film. Several of the actors will be there, including Noah Emmerich. Noah will do a Q&A with Troy Fears. Troy's the executive director of Candles. And, Candles uses this project, this yearly dinner, Evening of Light, as a fundraiser, and it's at the Children's Museum here in Indianapolis. And so I would encourage, we still have a few seats left. So if you do go to candlesholocaustmuseum.org, not only can you sign up for the teacher educational workshop, but you can also get a seat. And there is a VIP section as well, or if you just want to go, there's also, but the VIP reception is at 6:15 to 7. The program starts at 7 p.m. The movie will be shown at 8 p.m. and then a discussion with Noah and other special guests. So really appreciate Dave and the Peachcast giving me this opportunity, but happy to answer any questions.
Hey, we do have some. As far as your traveling, I asked you this in a casual conversation, but I mean, you're a podiatrist, and you're also an author. You speak across the country, and I saw you on a podcast, and you're on all these boards as far as podiatry, and very accomplished there, and well thought of. And how do you do it?
I sleep a lot on the weekends, Dave. I sleep a heck of a lot.
Well, right now at 3:00 on Saturday, you're doing a podcast with me, so you're.
Well, I'm honored to be on your podcast. I don't know, Dave. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine, actually, my former Butler tennis coach, Bill Bergman, this morning, and he said, "You're going to wear yourself out like your mom." And I said, "Bill, she was 85. I'm not even that close." And so, no, I for me, there's a passion, obviously, with what I do as a podiatrist. I enjoy doing it. And, it's a good balance because when I do speak, that's a totally different platform, a totally different, thing that I'm talking about. But no, I enjoy doing everything. And, I'm lucky I'm involved being the team podiatrist at our alma mater, Butler. I was at Hinkle yesterday. So, yeah, I sleep a lot on the weekends. That's probably the best way I can answer that. And I'm very happy that I'm here in Central Indiana after spending part of my career on the East Coast. And so it obviously gives me, if I lived elsewhere, it'd be much more difficult for me to do what I'm doing. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And my parents are no longer here. And unfortunately, with each day, more and more Holocaust survivors are no longer with us. So I think it's important. One of the other things, I'm speaking in Florida in about 2 weeks, and I was interviewed, and they said, "Why do you think this is so important to speak in South Florida, specifically South Florida?" And my response was, well, I know the demographics of South Florida, and unfortunately, as I just said, with Holocaust survivors are unfortunately a casualty of time. And I think it's so important for second, third, and fourth generation to be involved on any level, to tell their grandparents' story, their great-grandparents' story, because, at some point, the Holocaust is going to be like, for you and me, maybe like the Civil War, and it was only 80 years ago, 81 years ago, 80 years ago, this past January, my mom was liberated. So, I think that we need to treat history, this type of history, um, needs to be emphasized, particularly in our state of Indiana. And I'm happy that this past January, our new governor continued the legacy of having EVA Education Day on January 27th, which Governor Holcomb initiated in 2020. So, I'm involved in a lot of things, and I have a lot of people helping me out. So, but yeah, I keep busy. So, but sleep a lot on the weekends. That's the secret, Dave.
I got it. Al, we will look forward to The Ice Cream Man coming to Netflix or some streaming service, but on September 20th, there's a chance for folks to see it and experience it with some of the actors that are in the movie.
It'll be a special night, and yes, the quote unquote the icing on the cake or the icing on the ice cream will be that there'll be a screening of the movie with the actors there. But to your point, I do know that there are plans to have it available on some streaming platform, but I don't know as of yet which one that'll be.
Well, we will look forward to that. And Al, anything else that you'd like to tell folks here in West Central Indiana and on the Crawfordsville Peachcast?
The only other thing is I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your listeners today. And I also probably never thanked you for being the MC for last year's event. You did a marvelous job.
Well, I appreciate that. It was an honor. And again, Al, we will keep the conversation going.
Thank you for listening to the
Sounds good,
Crawfordsville
Dave.
Peachcast.
Have a good day.
If you
That is
enjoyed it,
Al
follow
Kor,
the
Dr.
podcast
Al
and
Kor.
ring the bell,
More
so that way
information,
you'll always
go
be
to
up to date with the newest
Holocaust
episodes. We'll see you
Museum
next
.org.
time.
And don't forget, Crawfordsville Peachcast is at crawfordsvillepeachcast.podbean.com. You can like, share, and subscribe. We are on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, and iHeart. And until next time, I'm Dave Peach. Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast.